Hello, hello, hello. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome in. How's everybody doing tonight? Welcome into tonight's live. I just saw something like dark and I was like, what was that? It's just a candle. Spooked myself. Spooked myself. My shirt does say Sunday Scaries on it. So I'm spooking myself already. How's everybody doing? How's everybody's weekend? Did everybody have a pretty good weekend? Hopefully you guys did. I know I did. I had a really good weekend. Went to a pumpkin patch yesterday. It was very much needed and very fun. Except for there wasn't a whole lot of pumpkins left, but we got some really cool ones. I guess they're cool. They're kind of ugly, but that's what makes them that's what makes them cool. So let me know what you did on your weekend. If you'd like to throw it in the chat, let us know what you did. And we'll just kind of sit and hang. No Diddy, Margot said. Hey, Ladybug. How are you doing tonight? Hey, Captain. Let's go ahead and say hi to some people while we're waiting. Cat's Life. I don't know what we're waiting on. Waiting on me, I guess, huh? That's what we're waiting on. Cat's Life says she'll be back in 20 minutes, but I think she's back. Hey, Ashley. We haven't talked about Diddy over here for a little while, but there's a lot of stuff going on with this case. A lot. Like I was going down, when I sat down to figure out what I wanted to talk about tonight, I was like, oh, we could talk about Diddy. We haven't talked about Diddy in a while. There's so much. There's so much. Hey, Shelly. Hey, CJK. Hey, Miss O. Happy Sunday. Hey, Shelly. Welcome in, Rapunzel. Hey, Kelly B. Place to be. Doodlebug. Are you snoring, Doodlebug? Are you sleeping on me? Don't you be sleeping. Hey, Jen Doc. Jen DC. I would say Jen Doc, but I think, is that what it means, DC, or no? Maybe just DC. Just DC. Good. I'm glad you're doing good, Ladybug. Hey, Mama Duck. Good evening. I just love that name. I think it's because, like, where I live, we have ducks, too, and, like, you got the little, like, mallards on each side. We have a lot of mallards here. Well, we're supposed to, but we have a lot of those big ducks. Those are, like, really, like, I don't want to call them ugly because, God's creatures and all, but the swan looking ducks but they're not like white. They're like that brown color. Those are the ones I don't like them. I'm not hip with those kind of ducks. Those ducks don't like me. I don't like them. I went to go save a mallard one day. Oh, actually, it wasn't a mallard. It was an all white duck. It got hit by a car and I was like feeding it and I didn't realize, like, my brains weren't working that morning. I was just so concerned about George the white duck that I wanted to get him some food. And like, cause he wasn't walking and stuff. He wasn't able to like little waddle around. Like one of his little like fins was messed up. And so I took out some bread for this duck. And oh my gosh, I awoke the demon ducks. They might be geese. I don't know. Oh, these ones. Ugh. Yeah, they hiss, they'll bite. Yeah. So I threw the bread, needless to say, and I ran. I dipped. I was out. I was like, see ya. I never ran so fast before since I've had metal in my legs. Like, I was like, I'm out of here. I'm sorry, George. You're on your own. You're on your own. So they're Canadian geese. Oh, they're the world. And then we have another one. I don't know why I'm talking about birds, but we have this other bird. I forget what it's called. My brother knew exactly what it was when I described it, but it has like this seagull kind of like like I don't know, mouth to it, but it's like a pointed. I don't know what they're called. They're scary. I don't like them. They're we have water here, so that's why they're here. But I do love the little mallards. I think they're so cute, and I have so many videos of me holding up traffic for the mallards. They cross the street to eat. So it's not a pelican, but it's kind of like a pelican almost, but not. It's like a lot uglier. Like, oh, I don't even know what it's like. First time me and Vincent saw it, it had the most beautiful orange fish hanging out of its mouth. It looked fake. I swear I got it from the pet store. I don't know where this little guy found this fish, but I was like, I'm over it. I didn't like them after. I'm not a big bird fan. I don't like birds. They can fly at you. They can get you. They carry disease. Actually, I do like cardinals though. And I like blue jays, even though blue jays can be like crazy. I didn't realize that blue jays could attack. You're not supposed to save the ugly ones. Well, this one I was trying to save was really cute. He was an all white duck. We had one duck. We had like a couple coming in and out that were just one all white. I loved it. His name, and we named him all George. And then it's been a good year or so since we've had any. I'm gonna have to go like kidnap a duck from somewhere and bring it back here and be like, stay with us. I probably would have ducks in the house if I could. So last week we were busy with trials, lots of trials. Still have one trial going on. So we kind of like put our Diddy coverage on the back burner. It seems like I've noticed, I mean, everyone's talking about it, but I've noticed like Law and Crime, they'll put out a video like every 4 hours. like over this case. They have really, really taken the reins and like dug deep into it. Now, that's what we're going to do here as well. But I was going to say something else. I don't know what I was going to say though. But I wanted to find you guys a timeline to go over so that we could go back through a timeline. And that way, if anybody had missed something, including myself, we could, kind of get back up to speed. So I found this timeline and it doesn't have like every single allegation or, it doesn't have every single like rabbit hole that you can go down in it, but it gives us a good baseline about what's going on in the Diddy saga, Diddy case. It says as 5 new federal civil lawsuits are filed, attorney Tony Busby, and that's the guy that came on the news and said that he had over 120 clients that were going to come out in waves, and they were going to put these allegations and they were going to put these charges, they were going to file these in court. So he says that he expects to be filing cases weekly as a trial for Combs on as trafficking allegations is set to begin in May. That's pretty fast. Pretty fast. Now, I wonder how long of a trial something like this would take. I wonder. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go through these, but I'm not going to go into deep details into each one of the events of the timeline, because I think most of us know them, but some of them we don't. And I want to, on one of our next lives, go through and like deep dive into these people, because I started deep diving and I was like 2 seconds in and I'm like, they're celebrities galore that are doing like all these horrific things and they're just getting away with it because I guess because they're celebrities and everyone was looking the other way. I'm not sure. Hey, Donna, welcome in. Which the civil trial? I don't think so, because it's New York. No, they don't have cameras. New York doesn't. I hate New York. I love New York. Actually, I do. I love New York. But that's kind of just like with the Long Island serial killer case. Rex Heuermann, we don't ever get, inside the courthouse, but every day the prosecutor, or not every day, but every hearing, the prosecutor will come out on the steps of the courthouse and he'll say, hey, this is what I put forth today. And then the defense will come out, their defense attorneys will come out and they'll say something. So I'm assuming things like that will happen in this case as well. We'll get an update every day that there's a trial day. So, but if you didn't know what's going on, it says it's an event that shocked the entertainment world. I don't know if it has shocked the entertainment world or not, because we haven't heard anybody from the entertainment world really speak upon what's happened. I thought that more people would be, I would think more people would come forward, but maybe they haven't. We just don't know it, Maybe we just don't know it yet. So Sean Diddy Combs, is facing charges of trafficking and racketeering, according to a federal indictment unsealed in September that reads like a laundry list of criminal behavior, including kidnapping, forced labor, bribery, and other crimes. And we read through the affidavit. I think it was like, 51 pages or something. He faces even more allegations of sexual misconduct after a Texas-based attorney revealed he is representing 120 accusers who alleged misconduct against Combs over the course of 2 decades. In the past 2 years, Combs has hit the headlines in various ways that meant the mystique surrounding one of the biggest names in American music and popular culture was already deeply tarnished. Okay. So, and I heard like little things going on about Diddy, but like recently, but it didn't seem like it was like enough to like cover it, you know what I mean? Like it was just like I wasn't hearing a lot, but I was hearing like just like ramblings. And then all of a sudden, they dropped that affidavit and the floodgates opened up. So I think everyone knows about November 26th or November. Can I speak that again? Because I just said that date all wrong. November 16th, 2023. And that's when Cassie Cassandra Ventura files a lawsuit alleging horrific attacks and abuse. So this is when Cassie, the singer, model, songwriter, known to us as, P. Diddy's girlfriend, she was alleging that there was incidences of R-word, physical assault, SA between 2007 and 2018. So she said that there was a cycle of abuse, violence, and trafficking that became lured into a fast-paced and drug-fueled lifestyle. So then the next day, after she files this lawsuit, I don't know why, if he would have been smart, soon as he got wind that she was going to file a lawsuit, he would have went to her and tried to pay her off. Because if you pay one person off compared to trying to pay off everybody, I mean, I'm just, if I was a crook, that's what I would do. Apparently I think he either did that and he was too slow, didn't make it in time, or maybe he did that and she was like, no. And she wanted it well known. I don't know. But she does settle the lawsuit the next day. But at that point, we got to remember, at that point, everyone knew. So then on November 24th, 2 new lawsuits are filed over sexual attacks. So, within a week, 2 more people come out. So it says Combs is accused of SA dating back to 1991 in 2 new lawsuits. So these were, older incidences. And it says that one was anonymously by a woman who claimed Combs and another man coerced her into sex, and the other by Joy Dickerson Neal, who alleged Combs rugged and essayed her, as well as filming the incident and showing it to others. Later on, April 26, 2024, Combs' lawyers filed a motion to dismiss elements of Dickerson Neal's lawsuit. So then on November 23rd, 2023, Combs steps down as chair of Revolt. So that's a pretty big thing to do. I feel like I don't know what made him do it then, but I'm assuming it's because all these allegations were coming out. So then December 6th, 2023, Combs denies all allegations, says, I didn't do that. It says, I did not do any of the awful things being alleged. I will fight for my name, my family, and for the truth. Okay, well, you're going to have to really do that now. So December 6th, then we don't hear anything back, from him or anything to do with him until February 26, 2024. And that's when Combs is sued by Rodney Jones. And Rodney Jones is a music producer who allegedly said that Combs groped him and attempted to groom him into accepting a homosexual relationship. He also alleges the same with Cuban Gooding Jr. I was going down that rabbit hole earlier. So, we're going to have to go into that. We'll have to dig into that because I want to know a little bit more before I really speak on it. Because I don't know a lot about Rodney Jones. But so then the next month, March 25th, raids at Combs' property in LA and Miami. Now, I'm wondering if he had any inkling, if he had any clue that this was going to happen. You know what I mean? Like, because normally, I don't know, you're getting sued by people. I feel like that you would know, like, the next thing that's going to happen is, hey, they're going to come check my property. Maybe I should get rid of at least 500 bottles of the baby oil. I don't know. I can't get over that. So, March 25th, they raid the property in LA and Miami. And then May 17th, CNN publishes shocking footage of Combs assaulting Ventura, and that's Cassie. So that's when the leaked footage from the hotel, I believe it was from 2016. Yeah, from 2016, where he beats her, chases her down the hallway, and then beats her and drags her back to the hotel room. Like, I mean, I've never seen something so barbaric in my life. It's crazy. So they publish the footage. The next day, that's when Combs apologizes, saying, I take full responsibility of my actions. In that video, I was disgusted then when I did it. I'm disgusted now. And that's the video we all saw. I think he had like a brown shirt on, looked all sad and stuff, kind of, but it wasn't fooling me. So then May 22nd, Crystal McKinney files a suit. The model, Crystal McKinney, files a suit against Combs, alleging that he rugged her and forced her to perform oral sex in a 2003 incident. Later that week, another woman, April Lamppost, files her own lawsuit alleging 4 instances of SA between 1995 and about 2000, as well as the allegation that Combs filmed one of the incidents and showed it to others. So now you have, more people are coming out. Still, people that it seems like are from the early to mid 90s. Then in June of 2024, Howard University revokes honorary degree. Now, who the hell? Now, this pissed me off. I forgot about this until I read this again tonight, that he had an honorary degree. Do you just get shit when you're a celebrity like that? You just get an honorary degree. Like, what's his honorary degree in? Do you get to pick your study? So can I become famous and then be like, I want an honorary degree and I want to be a doctor, and more so I want to be an orthopedic surgeon? So does that mean I can take my honorary degree and go perform orthopedic surgeries? I would hope not. It's like the Me Too movement, I guess. It's like the P 2 movement. Yeah. You get everything free. Yeah, you do, Doodlebug. My mom used to say that. She's like, the richer you are, the more stuff you get for free. She's like, how's that make sense? Okay, I had to grab my drink. Sorry. Hey, allegedly Naomi, welcome in. Okay, so yeah. Let's see if and he's ordered to return the ceremonial key. What the frick? You gave him a key? Returning a $1 million donation. That's what it was. And ending a scholarship program in his name. So, okay, yeah. So, he gave some money, but still. Listen to this. Oh, yeah. That's when he had to return the ceremony key to New York by Mayor Eric Adams, who said that he was truly disturbed in the video footage of Combs assaulting Ventura, and he's just been arrested for some stuff himself now. So probably shouldn't talk. Was Aries? Is Aries in here? Oh, there's Aries. Hmm. So then after he gets his honorary, his key taken from the city of New York, he's just getting everything taken. His honorary Howard University, like piece of paper gets taken away. I don't know what they even do with that. I mean, nothing. Um, Combs says he's innocent as faces eighth lawsuit. So then, the eighth lawsuit says that these events were between 2004 and 2009 at Combs's famous star-studded white parties. September 10th, 2024, Combs a no-show at a hearing. That ain't a good look. Combs does not appear at a virtual hearing for a lawsuit filed against him by Derek Lee Cardello Smith, who had alleged he was rugged and SA'd by Combs at a party in Detroit in 97. The no-show leads to a default judgment against Combs of what? $100 million? To be paid to Cardello Smith, who is currently incarcerated following an unrelated case. Combs' lawyers say they hope to have the case dismissed, claiming Combs had never heard of Cardello Smith. On 13 September, emergency motions are filed by Combs' legal team to try to overturn the ruling. I thought that was going to say 10 million, and I thought that was a lot, but 100 million? Why wouldn't you show up to that hearing? That's the dumbest thing you could have done, Diddy. You just willing to have your name tarnished and $100 million taken? There's something else there's something going on with this one right here. I feel like maybe I don't know. I'm just going to go by what I think, by what could have went down. Let's just pretend that this Derek guy, right? Let's say that him and Diddy were talking in the background about some sort of deal and he offered him, let's say 10 million. And Derek Lee took the money and he promised Diddy that he wouldn't show up for court the following day or something. You know what I mean? And got the money, wasn't going to show up. And then that's why Diddy didn't show up. Because, I mean, how do you not just show up? You're going to have that default judgment against you. That's going to completely tarnish your name right there, just right there. It's just weird to me. Something's weird about that. You would think your lawyer would tell you, hey, if you don't show up to this, you're going to lose a lot of money. And it's a virtual. You're not even there in person. So then September 11th, another lawsuit is filed by Dawn Richard. And I think she's the one. Yeah, she was part of the Danity Kane pop girl group that I used to listen to them. It's weird now, but a trio with him called Diddy Dirty Money alleges that Combs essayed her on multiple occasions. And also he verbally abused and overworked her. Okay, well, probably would leave out the overworked because, I mean, you're part of a girl group and the other girls aren't coming forward to say that they were overworked. But the rest of it, keep it all in there. September 16th, 2024, Combs is arrested and charged in New York. It seems like it's been longer than that. He's only been in jail a month. It was longer than that. Oh yeah, his mama, he put up her house for collateral to try to get out of jail. I said, oh no, he didn't. He don't care about his mama if he's putting up her house. He must really believe in himself. So then Combs is denied bail. September 17th, he goes to see, he appears before a judge and the judge says, no bail for you, sir. The September 24th, Thalia Graves files lawsuit against Combs. And it said that his bodyguard and him essayed her 2 decades ago. and distributed video of their attack. Wow. Now, the people that have had, like, the video footage and of, like, oh my, like, there's no disputing that. If your hands are on possession of that, there's no disputing that. October 1st, it's like every few days, Combs faces sexual misconduct allegations from 120 accusers, and that's when, Busby came out and he did that press conference and he said, "Hey, I have vetted 120. I have 3,000 individuals that have called me and tried to get a hold of me to represent them in this case, and I've vetted 120. I'm taking 120 cases on." Then he said after that, like that night, that after the press conference, they received like 12,000 tips. Now, I don't know if he's inflating a little bit or what, but I guess he is filing um, said lawsuits. So, October 10th, Combs' sex trafficking trial to start in May. Judge decides because he went ahead and he wants to do a speedy trial. It says prosecutor said Combs may face more charges, something they have floated during prior court proceedings. Combs' lawyer have pushed unsuccessfully to get him free on bail since his September 16th arrest. Yeah, they really have. Now, I don't know how I feel about. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know the evidence though. Do you know what I mean? But incarceration like that with no bail. I mean, I know that he has a lot of money and he could run, right? But no bail at all. I don't know. It's just it is kind of like it's like, what do you guys have? Like what are we not like? You know what I mean? Like, because it's the feds. It's the feds. It's not just some like local cops that are doing this, like so it's gonna have some merit to it. Do you know what I mean? But it's like I just wish that we knew a little bit more. I mean, I guess we know a lot, but it's just really sad. Hey, Mary Beth, welcome in, everybody. Yeah. It's just, I mean, like, if this is, I mean, ugh. Part of me is like, these are like, I always want to believe the victims, you know what I mean? And I do, and I do. But it's like, I don't know. Some of the ones that are from like 1991, 1995, I mean, like, I don't know how I feel about that. Because it's like, why couldn't we come out before this? Why nobody was strong enough? Cassie, it took her like 20, 30 years later. It's crazy to me. It's just, I don't know. It's crazy to me. And then there are minors involved. And it's like, what? Like, I'm on like, I'm being like, I feel like I'm being ripped down the middle, like part of me is like, if all these allegations are true, how did nobody see this monster or say something before now? He has been in the music industry since the 80s. I mean, he really lasted a long time. You know, phew. I can only and I can imagine being him too, sitting in that jail cell and he's like gets hit with like 3 more, 6 more, 5 more lawsuits, and he's just like, I mean, at that point I'd be like, I don't even know what I would say. Yeah, Ladybug, there are, yeah. Parents have brought suits for decades. Well, then why haven't we heard about any of this? That's what, you know what I mean? I've never heard anything about this is this now is the first time I've ever heard these allegations. Which, I mean, I'm not saying that they're not true. I'm just saying, like, this is the first time I've heard them. So it's like, Cassie really opened up the dam. I bet he wishes he never chased after her. Bet he wishes he never would have put his hands on her. That she was the wrong one, you know? She was the wrong one. Good thing too. Good for I mean, she's so small. I feel so bad. So then he was hit with 6 new lawsuits alleging rape and sexual assault. That was October 14th. October 15th, Combs wants prosecutors to disclose the names of his accusers. Now, I do feel that he should be able to know the accusers' names because he needs to know what he's defending against. Like, and that's in my opinion. Combs wants prosecutors in his sex trafficking case to disclose the names of his accusers. Manhattan federal court documents show. The music executive needs to know the identities of his accusers to prepare for the May 5th trial. His legal team argued in a Tuesday letter to Judge Arun Subramanian. So I think that that's the law, though, right? Like you have the right to be face to face or like to face with your accuser, right? I thought that was the law. Maybe it's different there. Yeah, I guess people could be scared. It's just that many people, like, you know, it's crazy how he picked these people. He had to have picked certain individuals that just wouldn't come forward. That just wouldn't want to come forward, you know? Because he's literally been out there since like the late 80s. And we're hearing stuff as early as the early 90s, you know? So it's like he didn't waste any time. He was only in the business for, you know, a few years and he was doing this to people. So October 15th, Combs, oh, I read that, sorry. October 21st, 5 new federal civil lawsuits have been filed. So this is the last one, and it's a wave. It says a wave of new SA and rape allegations have been made against Combs, including an accusation of RAPE from a then 13-year-old. 5 new federal civil lawsuits have been filed against Combs. Among the plaintiffs, 2 are men and 3 are women. All of the alleged incidents reportedly occurred at parties hosted by the music mogul. Now, I'm wondering why they're doing civil lawsuits and not going after him criminally. Maybe because it was like too long since the crime happened. Because they're going after civilly means more monetary, you know. So it must have been too late. One lawsuit, the Jane Doe claims that in 2000, when she was 13 years old, Colm invited her to attend his MTV Video Music Award after party, where she was allegedly rugged and hard. All 5 lawsuits were filed in the Southern District of New York by the Texas-based attorney Tony Busby. We expect to be filing cases weekly, claiming Mr. Combs and others as defendants as we continue to gather evidence and prepare for the filings. Well, I hope that they like when they file something, we don't need to know like the names or anything like that, but I hope that we get to know what evidence they have to like each victim, you know, like Jane Doe 1, you know, he did this. Like we don't need to know who they are though, you know, per se. Because a lot of these, not a lot, but there are some that are minors and there are some that maybe just don't want their names out there. And I can understand that. I wouldn't want my name out there. I'd be cool with that, you know. JJ, you're absolutely right. He picks people who really rather be famous than be poor. Yeah, I think that's a good way to put it. And a lot of these people might be just like right there. They're getting ready to hit that spot where they're like getting their big break. And they think, oh, he'll definitely be able to help me with my, you know, my big break and they want to go to these parties and they want to meet him and they want to mingle with him. And I mean, that's just sad. It's sad because if you think about those white parties back in the early 2000s, those were the people you wanted to hang out with. Coming from, like, a person on the outside, like Paris Hilton, Nicole Richie, those girls were like, when they were doing their little famous tour there for a couple years, they were going to those white parties. Ashton Kutcher was going there. Everyone thought, he was just the cutest on that 70s show. That was like the same time that, and I was like, I feel like my senior year, like right after my senior year, right around those years, like early 2000s, 2004 is when I graduated. First images, on where? Oh, they're talking about, you guys are talking about something else. Okay. I was like, what? I didn't know what you were talking about for a minute. Okay. So we'll go ahead and let's listen to Nancy. So she didn't put this on. I'm gonna double check when we're done because Nancy normally will put her podcast on her regular channel after one day. Like it'll go podcast and then it'll go to YouTube the next day. We usually listen. We listen to the podcast often. Yes, it's 2 days ago. It does, but it says it's only a 4-minute clip. So I have the rest of it. I mean, I have the whole thing. So yeah, we'll just listen to it on podcast. I'll put pictures up. I have to download some more pictures, so my pictures aren't the best quality. So I had to download them on my phone really quick. Every picture that's like Diddy related, it's like copywritten. Like you can't use them for nothing. It makes me so angry. It does. It makes me so mad. Oh, let me play this to get her sped up. Okie dokie. So thank you guys for being here. I do appreciate it. Hey, Hindsight, you're here. You made it just in time. If you know the timeline, you're cool. You made it just in time. We're just getting ready to listen to Nancy. And then also after we're done, we can go over the new lawsuits that are being filed against him. But I do want to go over actually a leaked phone call. That's what they're saying. It sounds like Diddy to me. It doesn't sound like AI to me. It sounds like he's in a jail, like in a prison, talking to his son and using, it's only about a minute long, using like code words. So I'm not sure what those code words mean exactly, but we'll listen to it after this. So before we actually start listening to Nancy, I'll let you know what she's going to go over. It says here, Sean Diddy Combs faces 7 new lawsuits from alleged victims of molestation and sexual assault, bringing the total number of plaintiffs to 27. 2 of the latest anonymous plaintiffs are minors, and several unnamed celebrities are cited in the accusations. Each case has been assigned to a different judge, with at least 2 judges asking plaintiffs to justify their anonymity. Okay. Many victims report similar experiences of being rugged with laced drinks at Combs parties, later waking up disoriented with either memories of assault or physical injuries suggesting assault. 2 of the latest plaintiffs, including a 17-year-old boy, accepted party invitations from Combs, hoping to advance their music careers. Some attacks date back to the early 2000s, with others as recent as 2022. Wow. This comes amid reports that Combs allegedly required staff to carry various rugs for his use at all times. Kristina Khorram, his chief of staff, reportedly enforced this rule to ensure Combs' rug of choice was always available. Among the alleged substances were pills, ecstasy, marijuana gummies, and GHB, with one of Combs' preferred rugs reportedly being pink cocaine, a mix of ecstasy, ketamine, caffeine, and the psychedelic 2CB, also known as 2C. That's what that is? I've heard of that before, but I didn't know what that was. What? Like, I mean, whatever happened to just the regular the regular stuff? I mean, like, Wow. Former NBA player and recovering addict Lamar Odom says pink cocaine can cause auditory hallucinations. It also reportedly the same rug Liam Payne used shortly before falling to his death from a Buenos Aires hotel balcony. So, very curious to listen to this with all of my friends here in the chat. If you guys don't mind just taking a second, hit the like button. Oh, thanks, Ashley. Oh, I'm sure it does make you feel something. I mean, ecstasy, that's a feel good. Ketamine, I don't know what that would feel like. Ketamine would be like a tranquilizer. You'd be falling asleep, wouldn't you? So you're feeling good, then you fall asleep. I don't know if I'd like that so much, Ashley. Sounds like a bipolar kind of rug to me.
He wasn't using it all. So who was he giving it to or slipping it to? This as more sex assaults emerge. Joining us tonight, high-profile lawyer representing an alleged victim, Lisa Bloom. I'm Nancy Grace. This is Crime Stories. Thank you for being with us.
Sean Diddy Combs appears in front of new judge Arun Subramanian wearing tan jail clothes and a huge grin. The mogul seems to be in good spirits. One reporter asks Agnifilo what the roughest part of prison is. Agnifilo's short and shocking response: the food.
As the claims of brutal rapes and sex assaults emerge, let me show you a clip from TikTok. And it's coming at a really awkward time for Sean Puffy Combs, a.k.a. Diddy, a.k.a. Love. It's of Sean Combs reportedly, apparently, asking a 12-year-old little girl to party at an after party.
Yeah, I saw that video.
Yeah. Okay. You know, my longtime colleague and friend, Lisa Bloom, joining us. You know, Lisa, sometimes you have to search and search and search for evidence. You got to beat the bushes. You got to bam on doors, jump out from behind cars to catch a witness with a subpoena in your hand. And then sometimes things just fall in your lap, like that TikTok video. Did you see that? Hold on, Lisa. Let's watch it one more time. Now, this is surrounding MTV Awards, and you see it's back in, I believe, 2003, the MTV Movie Awards. Combs.
Coming to the after party tomorrow.
Yeah. That's where our friends at MTV. That's just one of those things that just happen in life, Lisa Bloom. Really? Now, think about it, Lisa. Think about every grown man in your life. Would one of them walk up to a 12-year-old little girl? They might say, well, aren't you a pretty girl? What are you going to be when you grow up? Not, hey, babe, you want to go with me to an MTV after party?
Yeah, this is really sick, Nancy. And you're right. Video evidence is always so important to juries. We saw the Cassie Ventura video where he's beating her in a hallway, kicking her, dragging her. And I think that changed a lot of people's minds about who Sean Combs is. And my client, Don Richard, alleges that behind the scenes, he was brutal, he was threatening, he was violent, and a lot of people were really forced into sexual activity or tricked into it or drugged into it against their will.
Don.
Well, we saw the way he acted in his little office that one day screaming, he's the best, I'm the best, no one can be like me. If I mean, that would make me, I wouldn't want to be in a relationship with someone like that. I would looked at that video and was like, damn.
Richard is one of Lisa Bloom's clients who is making allegations against Sean Combs, now under federal indictment and sitting in the MDC-CI Correctional Institute. Let me ask you this, Lisa. You have intimated, or it's been interpreted that you intimated, I doubt very seriously you would drop a hint you didn't intend to drop, that your client, Don Richard, is actually the anonymous accuser named as anonymous in the federal indictment against Sean Combs. Is she?
No, I did not hint at that. Some websites had headlines about that, but no. What I did say was that she will fully cooperate with the feds if and when they want to talk to her. This is not just about money for her. This is not just about a civil case. It's about justice and accountability. And if they want to talk to her, she is perfectly happy to talk to them.
What is the crux of Dawn Richard's story, Lisa Bloom?
It's a sad story. Dawn Richard, for those who don't know her, is a very successful singer in her own right. She's got millions of social media followers. She's on tour right now. And in 2004, she tried out for Making the Band. She was selected. She was in the band Danity Kane and later in the band Diddy Dirty Money. She alleges that she wasn't paid money that she was owed. She was exploited. She was locked in a car, locked in a hotel room, groped, grabbed. She saw a lot of physical violence. She was warned that the victim of violence if she ever complained. She tried to speak up for other women who she saw being assaulted. And nothing was done, and she was repeatedly threatened.
Now, Lisa, this ties in directly to claims that Sean Puffy Combs, aka Diddy, should not be released on bond. And you know, the defense attorneys are not going to give up. They're going to continue trying to get him out on bond, which is a grave mistake because he's going to trot right over to Teterboro and take off. Mark my words, he will leave the country. He's staring on the wrong end of a barrel with this federal indictment. And you know, the feds, Lisa, if they don't get him on rape, they will get him on a gun charge. There's really no question. All that is this your home? Yes. Was this gun in your home? Yes. Case closed. And he's looking at $15,000 and $250,000 fine. So he's going to run if he gets a chance. You say, Lisa Bloom, that your client, Dawn Richard, knows that witnesses can be intimidated, not just by Sean Combs, but by his hench people that somehow are still loyal to him.
Well, this is how he got away with it over the years. And Nancy, I'm so glad that you raised this issue of bail, because our case came up in the bail hearing. The prosecutor said that he tampered with a witness in my case. And briefly, what happened was we filed our civil complaint a week before the government's criminal complaint that came later that really was strikingly similar to our case. But after we filed our complaint, only one person came out publicly and trashed my client, Dawn Richard, and said she was lying. Well, the government was tapping Mr. Combs's phone, and the government said at his bail hearing that he had over 100 contacts with this woman who trashed my client in between the filing of our complaint and when she came out publicly against Dawn Richard. And then after she came out publicly, there were 0 contacts. So the strong implication is that he convinced her or he offered her money or something to tamper with the evidence in my case. And that was one of the primary reasons why the judge said, you're not getting bail, Mr. Combs, because we don't want you tampering with witnesses.
I heard that he had spoke to this woman for like 138 times, but it was before all of the stuff kind of came out on him. But 138 phone calls, that does sound like something to me.
Okay,
Now, I don't know if that necessarily screams cover up. I think you can pay somebody off within 5 phone calls. I mean, 138 phone calls, that sounds like a relationship to me. Some sort of a relationship, but that's just me.
break down. I'm drinking from the fire hydrant here with Lisa Bloom, who is representing yet another alleged victim of Sean Combs. We're going to get to the pink cocaine in just a moment and the new alleged child victims of Sean Combs. Lisa, let me understand what you're saying. You are saying that you believe from behind bars, Combs is having his hench people intimidate witnesses. And that is proven by, did you say, over 100 phone calls to whom about what?
So he wasn't behind bars yet. This was before he was arrested. The government says that he had over 100 contacts with a witness in our case who came out publicly and accused my client of lying. And the government says that is evidence of witness tampering. By the way, he's accused of doing this personally, not through a henchman. And he knew his phone was tapped because on a phone call, according to the government, he said, My phone is tapped. I can't say very much.
Oh, dear Lord. Lisa, how many times have you either participated in a case as the lawyer, or we covered it together at Court TV, or since, where somebody's like, yeah, our phones are probably tapped, but I did it. They know the feds or the jail or whoever is listening. Are they that arrogant? I know they're not stupid. But why do they do it, Lisa?
Well, they are. You know, we always say, Nancy, they have the right to remain silent, but not the ability. And some people just can't help themselves. And listen, we know that the government found a lot of drugs in his hotel room. Maybe he was on drugs. Maybe he was just high on his own ego. Maybe he thought he would get away with it because he's gotten away with so much for so long. But it's all crashing down on him now, isn't it?
Okay, I think I need a shrink. Dr. Bethany Marshall joining us, high-profile psychoanalyst out of Beverly Hills, author of Deal Breaker, and you can see her now on Peacock. Dr. Bethany, I know Combs is not stupid. He's reputedly a billionaire. He didn't get that by just falling off the turnip truck. So why do they continue to blab on the phone when they know, obviously, the feds are tapping them?
Well, I love your use of the word arrogance because they do feel that they're above the law. Nancy, people who have traits of sociopathy and sex addiction notoriously become paranoid and anxious as they're about to be caught, but all the lead up to being caught, they really don't think anything bad is going to happen to them. So sociopaths—
Okay, wait, please just stop right there. Arrogant. Has anybody been to a party where you serve hors d'oeuvres to a whole room full of partygoers on top of a naked woman? Because I've never been to a party like that in my life. I've been to plenty of strip clubs in daylight hours, of course, trying to find witnesses. And they are filthy, by the way, in case you're tempted to go to one. They're disgusting. That said, no, never. Speaking of arrogance, and he's standing there like it's no big deal. There's a naked lady with sushi on her body. What?
Oh, Nancy, you know, I saw this in a James Bond movie once. They had a naked lady lying on a table. I was way before
Okay, well, that's not real.
All right, that is not real. But this shows the point to which he thinks of people as objects. She was just a decorative object.
Wait, Bethany, I know everything you're saying is correct, but Lisa Bloom, can I just ask you something? I'm sure, since I know you, that you have formed some sort of a kinship with your victim that you're representing, Dawn Richard. When you think about what she says she endured at the hands of Sean Combs, and then you look at this photo of him eating sushi off a naked lady, and let me just throw in the TikTok where he asked a 12-year-old to go to an after party. The way he treats people, did he think it would never end, Lisa?
Yeah. And isn't there a sanitation issue with the sushi on a skin? Okay. But anyway, putting that aside, what it was about for my client was she was trying to have a career in the music industry, and she was doing well, but she did not want to lose her career. I mean, that's the problem, is that, look, if people want to consent to, all kinds of sexual and weird things, that's up to them. That's fine. But nobody should have their career hinge on being groped, being grabbed, witnessing violence, witnessing non-consensual sex acts. That's what this really boils down to.
So, Lisa, what is she saying Combs did to her? Not what she witnessed him doing to other people, but what did he do to her?
That she was groped, she was grabbed, grabbing her breasts, grabbing her buttocks, not paying her the money that she was owed. And when she asked for it, she was threatened with violence. I mean, it's a disgusting long story from 2004 up until the present. And she witnessed some of these incidents of violence against Cassie Ventura, against Kim Porter, his former wife, now deceased. And she tried to speak out. She tried to stand up for the women, and she was threatened.
Did you know using
Get all your
job
Stories with Nancy Grace.
Guys, the claims of brutal sex attacks, including on minor victims, the claims are mounting as Dawn Richard tries to speak out now through Lisa Bloom. She is being attacked. It seemingly never ends. Listen to this.
The now youngest victim to file against Sean Combs claims she was just 13 when she snagged an invite to Diddy's 2000 VMA after party. Combs' limo driver told her Diddy likes younger girls and allowed her into the car. At the party, the victim feels woozy and lightheaded after one drink, so she finds an empty bedroom to lie down in. Combs then bursts into the room with two celebrities, grabs the girl, and says she's ready to party. Combs throws her towards a male celebrity who undresses and rapes her. Combs then takes his turn with her, all while a female celebrity looks on.
So I thought that the wild, freaky party didn't start until 3 or 4 or 5 a.m. What 13-year-old is staying up that late?
Girl escapes after fighting Combs' attempts to force her into oral sex, running out of the party naked.
Combs' exorbitant wealth and extreme power made victims feel like they had no choice but to comply.
A common theme in the lawsuits and federal indictment against Sean Combs is his widespread use of NDAs to intimidate victims into silence. Everyone in his circle and attending his parties was asked to sign what many attorneys have called the most broad non-disclosure agreements they've ever seen. Many signers did not fully understand what they were agreeing to and were not provided copies of the document, leading them to fear endless litigation if they were to speak up.
Can these NDAs, non-disclosure agreements, keep witnesses from testifying at trial?
I'm going to say no. If you didn't give me a copy of the said document, I'm going to say no.
Now, former Danity Kane star Dawn Richard files a lawsuit against Combs, claiming he sex assaulted her, deprived her of food and sleep, refused to pay her, and also that she witnessed him abuse his former girlfriend, Cassie Ventura, and saw him and associates engage in illegal drugs and sex acts with underage children, underage girls. Joining me, an all-star panel. But now, straight out to Lynn Shaw, founder and director, Lynn's Warriors, who is devoted to stopping sex exploitation. Many people claim a defendant cannot change modus operandi, method of operation, MO. That is not true. We've pointed out many examples all the way back to Ted Bundy, where MO was obviously and radically changed. So why is it so hard for people to accept that a person, allegedly Sean Combs, can attack women and teens?
It's the same old playbook, Nancy. It's blame the victim, blame the vulnerable person. The powerful one has more control over the vulnerable one. The vulnerable one is a liar. We have seen this. Every person we work with has the same exact story, and they don't even know each other. So what I have to say is why? Why do we think this way? Why aren't we changing the culture in 2024, almost 2025, believing a victim survivor first and breaking it down from there? And I have to ask you, talking about these NDAs also, a minor can't sign an NDA, can't consent to anything. So none of that holds. But we always heard from our street sources here in New York City that there were a lot of minors. I know we have to go with, proof and all that. We always heard there were a lot of minors involved in this whole dirty Diddy story. Always. And I just want to throw out a PSA right here on your show, Nancy. If somebody says to you, I know how to make you a star, come with me, prove yourself sexually, I'll make you that star. You know what? Run for the hills.
Joining me also, in addition to Lisa Bloom, Dr. Bethany, and Lynn Shaw, Kayla Brantley, investigative reporter with DailyMail.com, also host of Daily Mail's podcast, The Trial of Diddy. Kayla, thank you for being with us. Explain what is an NDA and how, wrongfully, many people believe an NDA, non-disclosure agreement, can keep people from testifying in a criminal case.
Yeah, let's hear about these NDAs. Oh, Mary Beth, by the way, that's what I sent you the other day. Supposedly. And
Hi, Nancy. Well, thanks for having me.
Relax.
Typically, NDAs, everyone automatically thinks, they're locked, you sign it. But as you mentioned,
oh man, I'm gonna start putting at the end of all my documents like Diddy does. I think in his NDAs, it's like you can't talk about him for 40 years, and then like your great or like your grandchildren or something can't talk about him for like 100 years. I don't know. It's ridiculous. but it's funny.
Before, if you're a minor can't consent to anything. And we have victims now claiming that they were 13 years old at the time. So that doesn't excuse them from the NDA, and they can testify, as you said, in a criminal trial. So Diddy might think that he was able to get away with this for so long because he had those ironclad NDAs, but you can see that it's all now unraveled.
Well, one person we know that signed an NDA and may not have been able to speak out before was longtime girlfriend Cassie Ventura. Listen.
Now that the accusations against Sean Combs are criminal, many who have signed NDAs could be called to testify, namely Cassie Ventura. Ventura may have agreed not to speak about her settlement with Sean Combs publicly or in further civil suits, but when it comes to criminal proceedings, she is not bound to silence. Former Bad Boy rapper Mark Curry has also speculated that when Combs released his publishing rights back to artists last year, he may have required those artists to sign NDAs.
We just saw the video from TikTok where Sean Combs, seemingly jokingly, but who knows, is asking a 12-year-old girl to an after party. And you see everyone around, including Ashton Kutcher, I'm sorry to say, laughing like that's really funny.
When I die, I want my last words to be, I did it.
From our friends at VH1, Lisa Bloom, isn't it fortuitous how words come back to haunt you?
Absolutely, especially words caught on video. And Nancy, I also want to point out, as you pointed out, there's people all around him who are enabling, who are complicit, who are laughing, who think this is all a big joke when he's asking a 12-year-old girl to an after party and when he's bragging about what he does at his parties. And in our case, it's not just against Sean Combs, it's against 20 other individuals and entities who we say were complicit, because you can't have this scale of sex trafficking and sexual assault with just one person. It requires an army of people.
Well, there's 27 people right now, honey.
We allege that's what he had. And that's what the government alleges too. In the criminal case, they're called co-conspirators. In our case, they're called people who are complicit or enablers, but it's the same thing. And I think not just Sean Combs, but everybody needs to be brought to justice.
Another victim claims he was invited to a Diddy party to be passed around to multiple A-listers. The personal trainer is invited to a 2022 party by a client of his. A private car picks him up for the event, and the trainer is given a drink on arrival with instructions to finish it if he wants to enter. Minutes later, he starts to lose control of his body as
Okay. Right then and there, I'd be like, hell to the no. You pull up, they give you a private driver, so you're not driving, so you can't leave. You have no car there. They hand you a drink before you even enter the door. So it's not like Diddy's walking out giving these people a drink. It's probably his maid or something. And there's probably a note on there saying, drink this or you cannot come in. Like, drink all of it. The first, no. I would say no. Hell no. Because I'm sorry, but you would have to know that there's something up. There's something up. They're not just trying to get you drunk if they're only giving you one to drink before you come in. Now, if they set up a whole damn bar for you and gave you 16 shots to finish off before you came in, then yeah, I'd say probably be worried about the alcohol in there. But I think that I would feel like, I don't know. I mean, I would be like, there is something in this drink that I shouldn't be drinking. That's what I would think. But then again, I'm 39 and I'm a little older. Maybe these people weren't that, they weren't thinking. And I guess if you are out there and you are wanting to become a, singer, songwriter, producer, model, anything, actor, you'd want to be able to go into these parties. But I would be very cautious of that drink.
security guard escorts him into a secluded room. Combs performs oral sex on the trainer, then forces him to perform oral sex on another celebrity. As the man slips in and out of consciousness, he's vaguely aware that various men and women are performing sex acts with his limp body, using him like a party favor. Rodney Jones' explosive lawsuit claims that Diddy's chief of staff, Kristina Khorram, insisted that all employees carry a variety of drugs on their person at all times, so Combs' drug of choice was always available to him. In addition to pills, ecstasy, marijuana gummies, and GHB, one of Combs' alleged preferred drugs is pink cocaine, a mix of ecstasy, ketamine, caffeine, and a psychedelic known as 2CB or 2C. Former NBA player and recovering addict Lamar Odom says pink cocaine can cause auditory hallucinations. It's also reportedly the same drug Liam Payne used shortly before falling to his death from the balcony of a Buenos Aires hotel.
Straight out to a former DEA agent in the Miami Field Division, former federal task force officer for the DOJ, Robert Crispin. Crispin, what is pink cocaine?
Yeah, isn't this kind of new? Like this pink cocaine, kind of a new thing?
You know, it's a powdery substance of ketamine that's mixed in with a lot of other different drugs, such as GHB, MDMA.
Oh, wait, so there's no actual like cocaine into the cocaine?
And these are drugs that alter the system and start to make your brain stop telling your body how to react and start to slow down. Therefore, you become prey to your victim. It's a designer drug. It's another date rape drug, and it just became popular in the U.S. probably 3 to 4 years ago. But it's very commonly used.
Pink cocaine actually looks pink. That's where it gets the name. It looks pink, and it is used often as a, quote, recreational drug. What effect does it have on the person using it, Crispin?
It has a lot of different effects. And to talk about the color, they do put food coloring in there as well. And they also do make it at times smell like strawberries by chance. But it starts to shut down your response system and to sometimes make you do hallucinations, sometimes make you very sleepy, sometimes not be able to control your functions. It all depends on what drugs they're actually mixing this with. And depending who the chemist is and who decides to put what in there, it's just a variety of all the date rape drugs, GHB, the gamma hydroxybutyrate. It could be MDMA, also known as ecstasy. So it's a deadly combination, but it's used widely at these parties to give to victims so they can't fight you. You can't fight after you've ingested it.
Pink cocaine, like Crispin is saying, is made up of really a revolving group.
That doesn't sound like a fun drug. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that doesn't sound fun to me. That sounds like I'd be passing out. Like, just like they said, passing out, coming to, passing out, come. No, that doesn't sound like a fun time to me. You know what I mean? Like, if I was going to be doing some rugs, I would just be like, oh, can I just stick with the regular? Not the pink. Hey, Will B, good to see you.
Of drugs increasingly popular on the club scene. Usually you think people know they're taking it, but not necessarily true when it comes to Sean Combs. The concoction can often contain an ecstasy-like drug, methamphetamine, opioids, psychoactive substances like bath salts. It's cheap, and that attracts people to it. Now,
cheap? He's a million gazillionaire. Why does he need the cheap stuff?
It's a misnomer to call it pink cocaine because it actually doesn't usually contain cocaine. It's a party drug, like ecstasy, like GHB, gamma hydroxy.
I did not know until like we like tonight that pink cocaine didn't have cocaine in it. You know, I guess I'm a party animal over here.
Butyrate, the date rape drug. Now, I want to show you a photo that we have obtained that is from court docs. Take a look at this dispensary item. Now, Lisa, I hope you can see this because we believe that this was used to inject people, drug people without their knowledge at these parties. And to you, Dr. Bethany Marshall, how do you believe that this was infused into the victims' bodies?
Well, for some victims, it was suspended in baby oil and rectally injected. And Nancy, I want to say
yeah, you can't go back.
Slow down, Nellie. What did you say about anally?
Those 1,000 bottles of baby oil were not just a sexual lubricant. They were used to suspend pink cocaine and other substances in them so they could be injected into the victim's rectum, so it go immediately into the bloodstream. Nancy, this pink cocaine, it has a mixture of one drug, which is meth, which causes hypersexuality, GHB, which causes memory loss, and MDMA, which creates an expansive, warm feeling. So we think of a date rape drug as something that just renders a person helpless. They're trying to give them uppers and downers at the same time. Meth is notoriously used by sex addicts because it makes you hypersexual. It makes you able to perform for hours. So these are not willy-nilly cocktails. These are cocktails that he perfected over time to use on his victims.
Crime Stories with Nancy Grace.
To Lisa Bloom, high-profile civil rights lawyer representing a Diddy accuser, Dawn Richard. She is owner of the Bloom firm, author of Suspicion Nation, the inside story of the Trayvon Martin injustice and why we continue to repeat it. Lisa, you have a huge body of work that you have created and developed over the years. And you are publicly supporting Dawn Richard's claim against Combs. Think about what Dr. Bethany just said. If this is true, women, for the most part, some men, being anally infused with baby oil laced with GHB or pink cocaine. The humiliation. And to think it's caught on video, Lisa.
Absolutely, Nancy. And we allege in Dawn Richard's complaint that she was required to go to a lot of these sex parties. She did not engage in any of the sexual acts, but she saw women there, some who she thought were underage, who clearly seemed to be zonked out of their minds, engaging in sexual acts. And she spoke out about it. She talked to them. She complained to people. She tried to get Cassie Ventura to leave Diddy, she alleges, on multiple occasions. And she was constantly threatened, she says, by Diddy, who said, people disappear, people turn up dead. I mean, it was a terrifying time for her.
Can you imagine someone as powerful and as incredibly wealthy as Combs saying, hey, people disappear all the time, girl? Let me go back to Crispin.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Robert Crispin joining us, private investigator, but formerly with the DEA. You want to know about drugs? Ask Crispin. Robert, I hope you can see your monitor. Can we, New York Control Room, can we see those infusing devices that are part of evidence now? These reportedly used to infuse victims with pink cocaine and or other illegal substances. How would this work?
I'll tell you exactly why they do it like this, because it's a powdery mix and it's got to be diluted first, and you can't carry a liquid around in a Ziploc sandwich baggie or a small baggie. It's just going to spill everywhere. So what they do is they put it into here and they mix it so it's a clear liquid, or it's red, or whatever color they put the food coloring in, so they can actually walk up to a drink and quickly do a diversion and release the liquid into the drink. Whereas if it was a powder, then they would have to sit there and stir it and stir it and stir it, and they're going to get caught. These are pre-packaged, ready to go, loaded devices to put in somebody's drink. And that's why they use those. And you can carry them anywhere. You can carry them in your jacket pocket, you can carry it in your pants pocket. And when you're ready to go, you just lean over, do a diversion, and you can put it right in the drink.
A Los Angeles area business owner works with Diddy regularly, loaning out jewelry and exotic cars to the mogul. When he gets an invite to Combs' Ciroc party, he decides to attend to promote his business. During the party, Combs asks the victim to join him in his office. Behind the closed door, Combs drops his pants and advances on the victim, grabbing his genitals in a rough and sexual manner. The man freezes in shock and fear. Then somebody opens the door and interrupts Combs. The unnamed high-profile athlete ushers the victim out of the office, and the victim hightails it out of the party.
While Judge Arun Subramaniam initially granted Diddy attorney Mark Agnifillo's request for a gag order in the case, he did not rule on Agnifillo's request to have prosecutors reveal if they authorized statements aimed at assassinating Mr. Combs' character in the press. Agnifillo alleges that prosecutors intentionally introduced false allegations of child sexual abuse to the press and wants them retracted. Prosecutors have until October 30th to respond to the accusations.
Okay, so defense attorney Agnifillo is blaming others. Last week, they were blaming the feds for leaking information, specifically the Cassie Ventura video where she was beaten brutally in a public hallway by Combs, who so arrogantly thought it was okay for him to run up and down the hallway in nothing but a towel. Agnifillo is now blaming others for, he says, false allegations of sex attacks on minors trying to break into the TV industry. Tequila Brantley joining me, investigative reporter, DailyMail.com, host of the Trial of Diddy podcast. Tell me about the defense's request for a gag order.
Yeah, Nancy. So the defense is trying anything they can to, get him off, get him released early. One of those things is a gag order. But another thing that's very interesting is that this week, 7 new lawsuits came out filed by Jane and John Doe's. And what the defense is saying is that it's ridiculous to them that they don't have these names because they think that, they can't then mount a proper defense if they don't know who's making these claims. And these claims go from anywhere 2000 to 2022. So that's a 22-year time frame that they're trying to build a defense for.
Okay, so Lisa Bloom, in addition to what Keila Brantley's just told us, and she's absolutely correct, the defense wants the names of the victims. And what a lot of people may not know is the defense is given far before trial the names of all the witnesses, including victims. It seems to me what the defense really wants is the names of the victims made public.
I think you're right, Nancy, and you're absolutely right that, of course, any criminal defendant is going to be told before trial the names of the people who are going to testify against them in sufficient time that they can investigate, they can prepare their cross-examination. They have that right, and that's fine. But they don't have the right to gag everybody who has something bad to say about Sean Combs. They don't have the right to gag me, for example. I'm not involved in the criminal trial. They don't have the right to gag people who it's taken years and years to come forward. And now finally they've had the courage. They found it and they're standing up and they're speaking out. And, Sean Combs, through his attorney, has bashed the victims. He bashed Cassie Ventura after she filed the case, essentially calling her a liar. So he didn't have any problem speaking out when it was in his interest to do so. But now he wants everybody to be quiet. Good luck with that.
Good luck with that. Now, speaking of a gag order, when the defense attorney wants everyone else to stop talking, why does he insist on talking himself? Listen.
They call them freak-offs. But, back when I was a kid in the late 70s, they were called threesomes.
If these are genuinely threesomes, how do you explain 1,000 bottles of baby oil?
I don't know where the number 1,000 came.
The U.S. Attorney said it.
I can't imagine it's thousands. I mean, and I'm not really sure what the baby oil has to do with anything.
They're essentially saying it's a lubricant for an orgy.
I guess. I don't know what you need 1,000. One bottle of baby oil goes a long way. I don't know what you need 1,000 for. I mean, he has a big house. He buys in bulk. I think they have Costco's in every place where he has a home.
They don't sell it at Costco, and you can't buy it in bulk like that. Unless you be buying it through the distributor. In my opinion, he had all those bottles of baby oil because he probably had displays up of the shit. Like you walk into a room and it's probably all like beds everywhere and lubricant, like baby oils stacked, like looking all OCD like. It's the aesthetic, I'm sure. And he probably had like 500 at one home and 500 at the other home or whatever, that equals up to 1,000. But either way, that's a lot of baby oil.
I mean, have you sat in the parking lot of a Costco and see what people walk out of there with?
Not 1,000 bottles of baby oil.
I don't think it was 1,000. I think it was, let's just say it's a lot. Okay.
That's from our friend Harvey Levin at TMZ. So while Agnifillo is demanding a gag order to stop the feds, he says, from leaking info, He is yakking incessantly. Lisa, why did he engage in verbal warfare with, of all people, Harvey Levin?
And he's not even putting facts out there. You can see him kind of spitballing as he's sitting there. Oh, I don't think it was 1,000. I don't know. Maybe it was. Maybe it should. No, the feds have said this is what they seized from his home. And it is an important number because people are alleging that the baby oil, as you say, Nancy, was laced with drugs. Sometimes it was spread on their bodies, massaged in. Sometimes it may have been inserted into people's bodily orifices. And it's a very significant fact. It's not something to be laughed off or say, oh, well, you see people go to Costco. We're talking about sexual assault and sex trafficking, and he's trying to minimize it.
Dr. Bethany, I think that sometimes we would rather focus on the jocular, the jovial, that's kind of funny, because it's really hard to think about women that think, oh, my stars, I'm going to get to go to this huge party and there are going to be all these famous people there and they can help my career. And wow, look, he got me some designer clothes to go to this. It's going to be the biggest night of my life. You go to the party and then you wake up and your vagina and your rear end is hurting and you're like, what happened? And it's all on video of you in these horrible compromised situations with people having sex with you and you're totally out of it. And you've got Diddy over in the corner allegedly going, oh, move that leg that way and that arm that way. It's degrading and upsetting. I think we'd rather see something that's somewhat jocular than have to continue to be reminded of what these allegations are.
It's also hard to imagine the victim suffering. It's ineffable, meaning that it's so horrible we can't even wrap our minds around it. But you think about it, he lured women and men with the promise of advancing their careers. He drugs them, then he rapes them, tapes them so that he has power over them. We think of this just being a sexual assault crime, but it's not, Nancy. This is a power crime. He stalked the victims after raping them and asking his party or having his party goers rape them. So this is cumulative trauma and shame and fear for them. We saw this with Catholic priests who molested young people. The priests didn't just have sex with the young people and then forget about it. They chose victims that they stalked over time. And when we think about sociopaths, Nancy, one of the criteria is that there's a thin layer of affability which hides a cold, calculated interior. So he's all funny and laughing at these parties, but he is vicious when somebody crosses him.
Now, we've heard a lot, speaking of funny, about Sean Combs whining about his life behind bars. He even doesn't like the food. Now, I want to thank Sean Combs, a.k.a. Diddy's Insta, for giving me this. Now, this is a far cry from his jail food.
You can do it. You can be whoever you want. You can be eating mango too, with the ocean as your backyard. I ain't special. I just want it. I want it bad. You feel me? I'm not going to allow myself to not have.
I'm just going to pause it for a minute just so that it doesn't like get me, but that's a terrible song.
Mango. So I hustle hard, you know what I mean? You know what I do? I'm not good no way. No, baby.
Dang it, Nancy, don't you get me blocked over here.
You know, Dr. King called it the law of unintended consequences. So sometimes the more you push a person down, the stronger they get.
That from our friends at India Today. Lisa Bloom, did the attorney in all of his wisdom just compare Sean Combs to Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.? Did I hear that or have I gone crazy?
I think he's gone crazy. You know, it's never good for a trial attorney to overreach, to take an extreme position. It turns off the jury. And if you think there's any comparison whatsoever between Sean Combs, accused mass predator, and Martin Luther King Jr., one of the great Americans of all time, you need to have your head examined.
Guys, It's not ending there. Combs just getting compared to MLK by his lawyer. But now we find out about a weird obsession Combs apparently had with the royals.
Diddy's former publicist Rob Shooter claims Combs was obsessed with Princes William and Harry. Shooter claims Combs asked him to invite them to dozens of parties, even offering to pay for their travel, lodging, and security. But the royals were never interested in attending. Diddy finally met the princes at a party after the 2007 concert for Diana at Wembley Stadium. But that was the extent of their relationship. Shooter even claims Diddy kept framed photos of the princes in his New York apartment.
Wow. You know, what's interesting right there, Killa Brantley, so much. Killa joining us from dailymail.com. He couldn't quite pull off getting Harry or William to a party, thank heavens. But he managed to convince so many people that his parties were the place to be. I'm talking about Oprah, Obama, Trump, Hillary, all sorts of A-list celebs showed up there. Of course, how were they supposed to know what was going on in the back room?
Yeah, Nancy, and this just goes to show how highly he thought of himself, that he kind of deserves to have these royals at his party, these high-profile people. And like you said, it was the place to be. For most people, hopefully, you would think that this is just the party. You know, you want to get pictured at a Diddy party. Hopefully, it'll advance your career. But for many people, like we're finding out, that wasn't the case.
Lisa Bloom joining me, high-profile civil rights attorney representing a Diddy accuser, Don Richard. Lisa, I know we all recall when you and I were together at Court TV, and on certain weekends, certain lucky people, not me, would go out to the Hamptons for big parties, really big parties. Now, Lisa, as I recall, you have owned dogs in the past, right? Canines?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Yes.
Have you ever seen one sniff the rear end of the other one?
Yes.
It's to get to
Just
know
this
each other.
morning.
Well, that's what happens at these parties. They're all just sniffing around to find the most popular, the most influential, the most famous person. And somehow Combs, as Killa Brantley pointed out, thought, yeah, I'm going to get the royals at my party. Arrogance out the yin yang. Like Prince William
You know what?
wants Diddy sniffing his rear end at some social climbing party? I don't think so.
You know, Nancy, I didn't go to those Hamptons parties either. I went to the Poconos and went hiking. That's my cup of tea. But Denzel Washington had a great line about the Diddy parties. He said, when you go to a Hollywood party, leave 30 minutes before the devil arrives. And I would add to that if you go to these parties and anything starts going down, you should leave. And if you think it's illegal, you should report it, because you should be protecting victims. And I'm not saying everybody who was there knew what was going on, but I think more did know what was going on than they are letting on now.
We wait as justice unfolds and more alleged victims emerge. And now we stop to remember an American hero, Trooper Daniel Redmond, South Carolina Highway Patrol, just 31, killed in the line of duty. Survived by a grieving wife, now widow, Michelle, and their 3 daughters, Olivia, Charlie, and Kennedy.
That's really sad. Dan, Nancy, you always get us with the sad stuff at the end, you know, like the fallen heroes that she does at the end of her series. But this came out like a few days ago. I don't know how real this phone call is, but there's a phone call, I guess, that was leaked from inside of the jail from Diddy. It could be AI, but a lot of people are talking about it, and no one's really saying, like, I mean, everyone's kind of like saying that it is, that it's him. I mean, it does sound like Diddy does have a, a certain voice. So this is from, I'm not going to be able to pronounce this channel right. Vida Harmonia. Okay, I don't know. I'm just going to put the link in the chat for the video that we're going to be using. I'm really bad with names. I'm so bad with names. Hey, Choco. So I'm going to let us listen to this in whole, and then we'll listen to it again, and we'll pause it on certain parts, like, you know, that make us go, huh? If you have a pen and paper or you have your phone, take notes. It's only like a minute phone call. So, because he says things and I don't know what they mean. Like he uses code words and things of that nature. So, they're saying that this is from a phone call from Diddy to his son. And I liked hers because she has it to where like she has like the closed captioning at the bottom, like what they're saying. Because it is hard to understand what they're saying, but you can hear it. Let me turn it up all the way. There we go. That might help.
What up? Listen. Do not entertain none of this nonsense and nothing over the phone. I'm gonna need you to get rid of all the leftover pizza boxes. The what? All the boxes left over from the pizza. All the boxes. Okay. Make sure you recycle the plastic like we talked about. Yeah. Did Jay reach out yet? Nah, Pop. He ghosting. What the f is this motherfucker doing? These things sweet now, because I'm in here. It's all good. You about to get out on bail. No. Hey, yo, check this out. Need you to reach out to the producer. Let these motherfuckers know there's a release date for that new Netflix movie. Alright, Pop. It's fucking crazy right now. Everybody out there quiet as a motherfucker around him. Yeah, exactly. We gonna let them have their little fun, but I'm still gonna have the last laugh. What about all these lawsuits, though, Pop? Ain't none of them getting shit. I ain't worth nothing. Ain't got shit in my name anyway. Don't even worry about it. Bunch of money hungry bitches and shit. Pop, Justin said, what should he do about his whip, though? Man, the f is you talking about? You don't see this shit I'm dealing with right now? I know, Bob. I told his stupid ass. Hey, yo, check this out. Tell his light-skinned ass to go make a club appearance or something. Motherfucker, make some money. You 30 years old and shit. Pay your own fucking car. Hey. I told him drop some music. I'm about to drop a new track this week. Everybody gonna want to hear what my shit sound like. Man, we not doing that shit. Y'all need to stay quiet. Pop, I could rap though. We got attention right now. Man, just do what the I told you to do. And don't forget about the list. Make sure that shit is fucking signed. Alright.
So what do you guys think? What do you guys think? Like, I mean, it sounds like it could be legit. The background does sound like he's in a jail or, you know, prison or jail. Yeah, we'll go through it again a little bit.
Listen. Do not entertain none of this nonsense and nothing over the phone. I'm gonna need you to
Like right there, I mean, everyone knows that calls are recorded in jail, so
get rid of all the leftover pizza boxes. The what? All the boxes left over.
So wonder what the boxes are. And it says right here, these are some pedophile code words. I don't know what boxes would be. Unless it's boxes of like movies, DVDs, boxes of photos, boxes somewhere in a storage facility somewhere maybe. I don't know. But it sounds like all of the boxes left over from the pizza, like maybe all of the videos or something left over from the parties. Yeah, like tapes. I don't know. You said super fake AI. You think it's AI? Yeah, that's what I don't know. Like, because some of it, because it kind of like cuts out a little. So it like, and some of it sounds like, so it's like, is it not?
Over from the pizza. All the boxes. Okay. Make sure you recycle the plastic like we talked about. Yeah. Did Jay reach out yet? Nah, Bob. He ghosting.
And I mean, that is supposedly, you know, supposed to be his best friend, and he is ghosting, but I don't like that part. Like, I don't know. Like that part, it was like, just like happens to be in there. I don't know. That's why I'm thinking if this is anything, maybe this could be multiple calls.
They just motherfucker doing these things sweet now because I'm in here. This is all good. You about to get out on bail? No. Hey yo, check this out. Need you to reach out to the producer. Let these motherfuckers know there's a release date for that new Netflix movie.
I don't know if there's gonna be a Netflix movie in his future, but there might be.
Pop, it's crazy right now. Everybody out there quiet as a motherfucker. Yeah, exactly. We gonna let them have their little fun, but
Yeah, like some of this stuff, it was just kind of like, just like too much. That's why I was like, I don't know if this is legit or not legit.
What about all these lawsuits though, Pop?
Because people will, like prison guards and stuff, in a lot of instances, they will release some stuff if they can get a payday out of it. I mean, it's sad to say, but it's true. It's sad to say, but it is true.
Ain't none of them genius shit. I ain't worth nothing. Ain't got shit in my name anyway. Don't even worry about it. Bunch of money.
Yeah, Melissa, yeah.
Pop, Justin said, what should he do about his whip, though? Man, the f is you talking about? You don't see this shit I'm dealing with right now?
I mean, that right there kind of was like, okay, maybe this is true because his kid's asking about his car. Like, I don't know. Some people don't get the gravity of things.
I know, Bob. I told this stupid ass. Hey, yo, check this out. Tell his light-skinned ass to go make a club appearance or something. Motherfucker, make some money. You 30
make
years
a
old and
club
shit.
appearance.
Pay your own fucking car. Hey, I told him drop some music. I'm about to drop.
See, and that's all we'd have to do is look to see if there's any music that was dropped. But he says that his dad says, don't do it, so. I wish I knew more about AI. I don't know nothing about AI. You will not find anything AI on my channel, but if I could figure it out, I'd probably mess with it more. I probably would. Let's see if there's anything. I know that there's someone that's come out recently about Chris Brown. I guess she's saying that she was assaulted on one of Diddy's yachts by Chris Brown. Now, that's going to be more problems for Chris Brown. A lot more problems. I was trying to see if there's anything else. I don't think so. I still can't believe that we had trials last week and we got verdicts and everything like on Friday. I'm still like in awe over that. So all this Diddy stuff is like, Ari said, I'm AI. Yeah, I don't think he has the stuff in his name. Friday was a great day. It was a really great day. It was a great day. I mean, I woke up Saturday just like laughing about Leilani and Sarah Boone. I was like, sucks to be them. I was like, I'm going to go eat me some breakfast. I kind of felt like doing like a wrap up, but I probably won't, Thanks, X. I appreciate it. Because that's why in the beginning I was like, tell me if y'all think this is real or not. Because there were so many people that had it on their channel. Even like, everybody. I was like, wow, there's a lot of people that have this. I was going to check see if there's anything on Diddy on Twitter. Or X. I say it wrong every time. I'll never call it. I'll never call it what it's supposed to be. They're just talking about who was it? One of the people that are on Trump's camp said something about, I don't know, something about the Democrats. It looks like starting to look like a P. Diddy party or something. And that's all over YouTube right now, it seems like. Yeah, that's pretty much all it is. Well, let's go to latest. Nothing. Doesn't, I mean, nothing that's like, you know. Yeah, there's nothing. I'm just looking. Yeah, there's nothing on here. Wow. We will have to go back over that list sometime that had all the people's names that were supposedly, you know, part of like going to those, you know, to the white parties and stuff. We'll have to go back over that. Is there anything else that you could think of that we need to talk about? Yeah. When he says, "Don't talk about it over the phone," and as they talk about it over the phone. Hey, Stacy. That's very true. Aries. Let's see. I know 2 in 1 day. That was amazing. I'll probably sleep in tomorrow. I feel like I've been so exhausted today. I didn't even carve my pumpkins. I did have Vincent take some pictures, and then as we were like checking out at the pumpkin patch, like it said when you walked up, like no photography or whatever, and I was like, oh, that's kind of weird. I'm like, who would be taking their pictures, right? Like we walk in, I'm with my little buggy, you know, my little wagon, got my wagon because I'm like, oh, give me some pumpkins. And these 2 girls are sitting there, cute as could be, pretty girls, you know, and they're just like taking pictures. One girl is posing and the other girl's taking the pictures. And you can see that we're behind her. I mean, we came in the door together. I had no clue that they were going to stop right in the middle of the, you know, the aisle to take pictures. And you know how like if you have a wooden cart or those like little red, you know, like kid carts, you can't like back them up. You got to like turn it around. It's not easy. You can't back it. You can't go backwards on those. So instead of these girls like just moving out of the way for like 2 seconds for us to just, you know, scoot on by, we waited there for like a good 3 minutes before we just decided to try to turn around the wagon. It was pretty entertaining. So when we left, I think the lady saw us like just kind of like trying to not, you know, say anything because we didn't want to mess up their pictures because we're like totally not those people because, you know, we record, but like we didn't know how to get around them either. So when we were leaving, the lady was like, would you like me to take your picture? And like of me and Vincent, like, and I was like, oh, that's okay. And she's like, oh, no, let me do it. And I was like, okay. So she got some pictures of us. Yeah, a little wagon. I couldn't get the wagon to turn around. And so Vincent took the wheel, you know, Jesus take the wheel. He does that a lot. He takes the wheel. No, I didn't. Ex-boy, did hear a little bit about what was going on, but I didn't know that they arrested him. Yeah, from the murder for hire. Wow. Yeah. It's crazy, isn't it? What is up with people? Can't you just be famous and like enjoy being famous? I don't know. Wouldn't want to be famous. My thing would be the no privacy thing. The no privacy would get me. Vincent take the wheel. Yeah. That's what it's like that, Melissa, sometimes. Sometimes he just takes it. We did get the coolest pumpkins, though. I will have to show them to you. I didn't get a picture of them yet. I washed them today because, they're kind of dirty. They're pumpkins. But we're going to carve them and paint on them. I don't know what we're going to do. We're going to do something with them this week. And I'll make sure I take pictures of that too. But I did get some pictures of us at the pumpkin patch. So I'll make sure I post like a video or do some like a TikTok or something of it. Because I asked him to take a couple pictures of me like walking with the wagon and stuff too. So we'll see what he did when he had the camera. It's pretty funny. What do you burn out on? Election day? Election stuff? I hope for better days too, Aries. Me too. I actually just said this like maybe today or yesterday. I'm like, maybe with the new election, it'll be a good thing, and we'll get some normalcy back. I don't know. Ever since 2020, it feels like everything's kind of went to hell in a handbasket. But I'm here for it, I'm here for it. We're here every night. So if that's something you're into, if you are into true crime and you like true crime cases and you like to hear about all the different kinds of cases, make sure you subscribe to the channel. We're almost to our next number, and I'm really excited about that because it goes by like hundreds after you have like over a certain amount. So it takes a little like a little bit longer to get there. So it's like just that much better when you get there. So don't forget to subscribe to the channel. What else do I say? Hit the like button. That's about it, right? Hit the like button. Watch my videos. If you want to do something good for the channel, you want to give back, watch my videos. I've got tons of videos. Sometimes I feel like going back through and watching my old videos just to see but then I'm almost like embarrassed to do it. It's just I've always been like that. I don't like hearing myself talk. Oh, and guess what else I got coming? Finally. Walking pad. Your girl's getting her a walking pad. Supposed to be here, I think Friday. So I'll be walking and talking. Walking and talking. Well, make room in your igloo for me, Aries. I'm hiding out with you. I'm hiding out in the igloo too. I couldn't do igloo though. Can we do like a what are those like a tiki place where it's like on the beach or something? Because that, I know. And they killed the wrong guy, yeah. And yeah, right, X, yeah. My dad would say, "You're a dumbass." That's what he would say to me. Like, if he was around and I did something like that, he would straight call me out for it. They can be very nice. Well, thank you guys all for being here tonight. I do appreciate you so much. I don't know if you guys all got to see my magnifying glass, but this is like my new little thing. I think what I might do is get all kinds of magnifying glasses and put them like somewhere. I don't know, like different ones because of my eye, like a play on my eye, because your girl can't see. But thank you guys for being here tonight. I do appreciate you so much. Subscribe, like, share, watch, all the things. I'll be back on tomorrow. I'll be back on tomorrow day. I want to do a day live on the other channel that I have, which is Unfiltered with Tanya. I want to do a live over the effects of bullying and content creators and subscribers getting bullied. I want to go over that. And when is it considered like bullying, or when is it considered time just to be logging off maybe? So I want to go over that. So bring your thoughts, bring your opinions, bring all that stuff. We'll open the panel. We'll do all that. But I'll see you guys all tomorrow on the first channel or second channel. I'll say second channel. It's other channel during the day. And then I'll be back over here tomorrow at 9:15 Eastern Standard Time to do a live over true crime. So I will see you guys all over there, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye, guys.